Okay. Okay. How long production room? Okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes to airtime. We're just in the process of figuring out right, okay. Now we just need to get this into the programming schedule on the website so that we can watch it live. We're just in the process. That's weird. Okay, so let's go into the programming schedule here and see if we can do this live. This is perfect. It's live. All right, production room. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, go back. 15 seconds to airtime. Ladies and gentlemen, all you ready? And good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us here on a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Oh, it's so beautiful outside. Wouldn't you know it? Wow, it is just gorgeous out here today. Well, Murphy's Law, shall I say. We started on time and we made it all of about 30 seconds. Murphy's Law has come into play quite a bit lately here on Ball Talk, but we were able to recover today. And so we are live here, we are live now, and we join each other once again. Well, shall I say, let's go ahead and we are going to look at today's headlines for today. Some of which you can see at the bottom of your screen. We'll go more in depth with those as well as others as well. But it is time for today's headlines. What is going on in the world of sports today? Whew, excuse me. Well, let's just say this much. The MLB 2020 season is in jeopardy as we know it. The MLB has given until 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the Players Union to respond with the threat that the 2020 season may be again shortened without permission or potentially canceled as a whole if they don't respond by 5 Eastern. So what's going on? Well, Cleveland police has claimed that 5 people tried to set Progressive Field in Cleveland on fire. Yeah. MLB owners are focusing in on a 48-game season for 2020 because the Players Union can't figure it out. The Athletics reverse the course and they will pay minor leaguers. Here we go. Does it take the miracle to save the 2020 season? Amid both sides locked in a stalemate over safety concerns, financial guidelines, and a lengthened potential season, the mood seems to be shifting from optimistic to doubtful for the 2020 MLB season. MLB and the Players Union have swapped proposals in recent weeks that would help outline the 2020 season. Unfortunately for baseball fans, neither side is remotely close in their negotiations, with demands far apart and little grounds being made up. Now, according to the Dallas Star-Ledger's Bob Klapsich, the mood around the league is headed south. In fact, even sides that were optimistic for the 2020 season are now starting to allow the doubt to creep in. Bob Klapsich reported that the mood around the MLB and its negotiations is dark. Even the previously optimistic parties I check in with are losing hope. Things are really bad right now. It's going to take a miracle to save the season. On Thursday, the MLB Players Association released a statement rejecting the league's proposal for a 48-game season. The idea with being pushed by the league owners would result in players receiving a prorated portion of their salaries and taking a significant pay cut as a result. The suggestion came after the MLB rejected an offer from the Players Union, which would run a 114-game season that would run through October. While it would provide fans with more baseball, the league has suggested it would deliver a huge financial blow to the majority of teams. The MLBPA's offer came after it rejected a proposal from the league from an 82-game season requiring players to take more than a 70% reduction in salary. Given some owners are willing to shut down baseball for 2020 to save money, it doesn't look promising for the 2020 MLB season. Given the collective bargaining agreement with the players that ends after 2021 and tensions between owners and players increasing, a complete stoppage would do significant damage for baseball years to come. Well, while that it would, I feel it's the best option. Just shut it down. If the players don't want to play, then shut it down. And don't get their permission. Just do it. Just do it at that point. Hey, look at this, bro. For the first time in nearly a week, we've made it more than 5 minutes. Woo! Let's go. In other news, opening day is 10 days away here in the state of Nebraska. And, well, for us, for some, it's as much as a week away. And it has no signs of slowing down. The Nebraska American Legion is hosting baseball for a regular season only. However, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the Yeah. There's really not much here, but it's 10 days away for us. For some is... So, the June 1st guidance, it is opened to immediate fans only. We are in the process of figuring out a couple of possible ways to get some on-location ball talks here, but of course if we do that at Crawford Field, you would have to keep in mind that anybody that's not an immediately family member will be asked to leave at the end of that. Well, one thing that remains the same, don't get popped, because if you get popped, you gotta sit out the next game. That has not changed. So that's good. So, yeah, that's the latest we've heard. All the 2020 is void. Here's the season rule book, by the way. So here's the revised rule book, and I am not going... Oh, it's only 25 pages. Well, how about that? As I said in, I don't remember what episode it was, but, crew chief umpire this year is Brent Hagel Pitt. And it appears that if our crew chief umpires for our district, well, for our areas anyway, our geographical areas this year are Dean Beck and John Smith. So now I'm just kind of looking through this rule book here just to doesn't look like a ton has changed. Let's see here. Oh, there is a pitch limit of 105 pitches in a game. So, in order to keep the... Yes. And one thing that is going to keep the pace of play up, and this year will be statewide allowed, is going to be the no-pitch rule. Meaning if you want to intentionally walk someone, the manager will call it from the dugout and the player will go to first base, and a pitch will not be counted. Some things for penalty of play. So let's hear. No player may pitch more than a total of 105 pitches today or per day. The pitcher will be allowed to finish the at-bat if the 105 pitch mark is reached in the middle of an at-bat per MLB rule. He must exit immediately after the hitter. No player may enter the game as a pitcher without being fulfilled. The rest days are mandated. So basically, they have to rest a minimum 1 day and a maximum 4 days, depending upon the pitch, with 1 day being anywhere from 31 to 45, 2 days 46 to 60. So generally speaking, most Legion teams, you see guys throw no more than about 60 pitches. So that's 2 days of rest. The penalty this year is that the pitcher and the coach and the assistant coach are all disqualified. That's right, all three of them tossed. That's very interesting. I'm about to say, I have a feeling they're not going to eject the assistant coach. I have a feeling maybe the pitcher and the head coach. The head coach will definitely go. The pitcher probably will go. Well, what I mean is like 105 pitches. He's at 108, strikes the batter out, but then he keeps going, right? No. Oh, bro. Oh, no. Not until we get to the postseason. Hell no. You might see some dude pitch an inning in game one and then comes back and pitches an inning in game two, for heaven's sake.
I'll go from like 80-something pitches, and then a day later I'll be like, all right, coach, I'm good. Let's go.
I have a feeling that I don't know. I don't know.
We got like 3 great pitchers on our team, and that's it. We're gonna have to eat a lot of innings.
Yeah. Okay. Well, oh, here we go. Do not come, two umpires, do not come running with your arm up or down denoting out or safe. Wait until the play is completed before making any arm motion. What the hell are you supposed to do on a double play then? I mean, what are you supposed to do? Go out at first, then turn around and go out at second? The guy at first was the second out. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Be like, out, keep him waiting? I mean, that's the number one way to get somebody really unhappy. So, oh yes, and then our local crew chief is, of course, Jeff Kopetsky. Oh boy, you know what I mean? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, well, I tell you what, new this year, Louisville and Weeping Water will be a combined program. And that's about it in terms of Legion news. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Joe Klein with us here for 15 minutes when we come back from our commercial break right here on the Eastern Nebraska Legion Baseball Network. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a good one. We'll be right back with you folks here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon.
On May 1st, 1960, noted Wahoo attorneys H.A. Bryant, George W. Eastler, and Robert E. Sullivan formed the law firm of Bryant, Eastler and Sullivan.
You're going to be good in 5 minutes? Oh. else to that you can't physically experience it. Nieces, nephews, cousins, friends, over the summers. That's throughout the summer on our own website, as well as programming based on guests to come into our show by way of telephone, pre-recorded interview, or by means of video communication as well. If you know someone who's willing to speak on our show, or this rough time with the donations And we welcome you back here to Ball Talk with Big Mike here on this Wednesday, and we're still on the air. Apparently, I get a notification, and the programming room does as well, but I get to kind of see what it's like here on the air. And then, of course, I get to see the programming room when, of course, our mouse is always going crazy with them trying to switch cameras and whatnot. Joe Klein is on his way. He will be joining us momentarily. For the time being, though, let me go in and by saying this, and I brought this up before and you couldn't really understand it very well. I was recently featured in an ad for 1620 The Zone. Anyway, so let me pull that up here because I have that on my computer. Anyway, let me see if I can give this back to zero here. Anyway, here is my minute and a half of fame on 1620 The Zone.
There is something in each of our lives. The uncertainty of life is unsettled. What used to get us through at times like these is sports. However, the memories are strong. The emotions of all the great times are deeper than you. Hi, this is Michael Klein in Wahoo, Nebraska. My favorite memory had to have been on November 1st, 2015, when the Royals won.
And my computer has decided to freeze. Let's try this again. My computer has decided to freeze. Let me see if I can open this up here. Here we go. Maybe I can open this up. Here we go. Here we go.
The uncertainty of life is unsettling. What used to get us through at times like these is sports. However, the memories are strong. The emotions of all the great times are deep and Hi, this is Michael Klein in Wahoo, Nebraska. My favorite memory had to have been on November 1st, 2015, when the Royals won the 2015 World Series. It was awesome. It was cool. I've been a lifelong Royals fan, and it will be a memory that will last in my heart forever. What touched your heart? Send us audio of your phone. Give us 30 seconds of your sports memory to memories@1620.com. Stay strong with our soul.
And that, my friends, was my minute and a half of fame on 1620 The Zone. And I'm watching this live. I actually have our website up on my computer right now, and just seeing me talk on delay is hilarious. Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what.
Good going, Spider. Set the printer down on yourself.
Printer to try and kill you peacefully and then flush you down the toilet. But no, let's just flush yourself out.
What?
Try and kill a spider on the wall and just get it down on the desk. So I'm going to pick up this,
Okay.
smash it, and instead size 2 set.
Okay, good. So the first attempt, it was some douchebag, and I won, and that was that. So anyway, our technology problems have been solved, and we're live. No, I did not copyright myself like I did. No. Well, I tell you what, are we at time for commercial? I can't remember what time we got back. I think we have about 2 minutes or so before we go to commercial. Joe Klein's in our studio. You want to begin and just get cut off right in the middle of your sentence? Okay, I'm getting the thumbs up from the production crew, so we are going to go to break. When we come back, Joe Klein will be joining us here. Don't go anywhere. About 5 minutes. Oh, I have a sensor. Standby mode. live in Omaha. Go to camp one of them. Whoa. That's 2 cents. We do understand that there was a little strong language in there, but not since we able we do understand to anyone who was offended. And we welcome you back here. Joe Klein will be joining us momentarily here. We can't wait to hear from him, his thoughts on the upcoming Legion season, and many other things as well. In non-related baseball news, the people of Visit 531 Nebraska, whom are visiting all 531 towns in Nebraska, visited Hartington today. Beautiful courthouse complex they have up there in Cedar County. Holy smokes. Wow, that is really cool. They also visited Coleridge, Wynot, St. Helena, and yeah, so they are visiting Cedar County today, apparently. Give those guys, visit 531 Nebraska on Instagram. Give those guys a follow if you're on Instagram. Really cool. Really, really, really cool story. They got plenty of news stories there. Really, really cool guys. So a big shout out to Seth Varner, who's in charge of all of that. So, man, you're awesome. Let me just tell you, you're awesome. While we wait for Joe Klein, who will be coming on any moment now, we're told. We are just awaiting him. We had some food we always have some food for some guests. And we are awaiting. So, the good news is that both Monday and yesterday, both Monday and the first attempt today, have been removed, but we have not been penalized at this time. Solely because of the fact that, if we are in jeopardy of, being removed, what we will do is we will work with our partners at XSplit. We will just create a new username and password. That is what I've told we're going to be doing so that we can continue streaming these games. It is our utmost importance. We attempt to follow everything possible. We are unaware that our TV volume is loud enough for the microphone to pick it up clearly. And so anyways, hey, look who's coming down the stairs. It's Joe Klein himself with a turkey sandwich in hand. An egg sandwich, okay. Well, we'll let him eat his egg sandwich while... Yes, and I tell you what, production room, can we get camera 2 maybe? Camera 2. Thank you. What's it saying? Device not available. There we go. Camera 2 is now connected. It was just a connection error on my end. Okay. Well, why don't we remove some of this stuff so we can see Joe Klein, who is joining us here in our studio today. We'll put the microphone kind of a little closer to him, and I will come across as well so that we can communicate with this whole thing. You're good, Joe. You can stay there. So, Joe is a infielder and a pitcher with the Wahoo Grays this year. He has been a member of the Wahoo Baseball organization since the beginning of the 2014 summer season. So he is getting very close to having a nice tenured career here. Joe has been working hard in the off season, and his numbers from last summer are really, really good, and we never did have a chance to see this spring. So let's begin there, bro. You're on May 14th. You've been told that activities the week of March 16th through 20th are canceled. Is that a big blow to you?
I was honestly kind of hoping for the best with the spring season, but ultimately it ended up being a no-go. I think that was the right move on the NSAA's part. You can't have people gathering with that kind of stuff going around. I think that really helped prevention, but I was kind of sad to see the season go. I thought I could perform well this year, but I just kept working hard, and we'll see how it carries over to the summer.
Well, and that it will. So let's go through the crazy process of what the Legion season has come, gone, and become. So let's just say this much: we learned the National American Legion baseball.
But then it came back, and we're a little puzzled as to what's happening. And now we know that we're going to have a Legion regular season, just no postseason.
Yeah, and what do you think of this whole modified postseason? Your name doesn't go in the record. Okay, let's refresh our viewers. There are 2 Junior Legion teams in Wahoo, equally and evenly matched as possible. One team is going to play the league tournament right off the bat, while another team plays a regular season schedule that week. Then you go through the regular season. Then one team's going to play a modified postseason format that is not for a state championship or anything. One team will play for a chance at the reserve state title to put their name in the record books. No districts, obviously, at that reserve level, but then again, though, it's a Junior Legion team. Just one goes to the reserve, one goes to the modified tournament. I mean, what's your thoughts, depending on which way you go, I mean, what are your thoughts on those?
I don't mind the modified postseasons. I think it was a good idea by the Legion board. You obviously couldn't have teams from all across the state traveling to one area. So I think it was a good idea. I don't mind the modified postseason. I'm just ever grateful for the opportunity to have one.
Well, and that's just it. So let's get in just to a second, because Joe has been following the MLB stuff that I've been talking about fairly carefully here. And, I mean, like, where are you at with that?
I'm kind of siding with the doubters here. I'm doubting that it's going to happen. Players and owners. Players have been crying rich and owners have been crying poor. So we don't know what's going to happen. And I think ultimately if they can't come to an agreement, the season just should be canceled.
And that probably is the right call at the end of the day. So we're 10 days from opening day here in Wahoo. You have some teams that are now within a week of opening night or day, depending on what time of day you're playing. It sounds like the protests are beginning to calm down here in the state of Nebraska, which is a very good sight to see. And we haven't heard really anything in terms of news, at least here in Wahoo, and very little news. But actually, we get a lot of news, but we just haven't seen much of it. You have any game day routines, Joe, that you do?
Game day routines are fairly simple. Usually it's wake up, you kind of stretch out, maybe go for a walk or a jog, keep yourself loose. Make sure to hit the ice bag or the heating pad, whichever you need. Get down to the ballpark early, take some rips with the team, and just kind of settle in, relax, and let the game happen. Trust your instincts, what you've been working on, and let the game happen as it happens.
Joe Klein with the latest, of course, and we'll look forward to seeing him on the baseball field real soon. Take care, Joe.
Pleasure.
All right, so let's get back into this here. If we can get back over to camera 1, maybe. Which our production crew is very good about a lot of things, and very good about monitoring our broadcast. Where would we be without our production's great production staff? We thank them. Boy, let me tell you, they have been working hard over the past several days, several hours, to ensure that everything is going good. Where would we be without them? Bless their hearts. So, 10 days from opening day here in Wahoo. There's no signs of it slowing down. Baseball fever's here. I mean, like, I was never dreaming even a month ago that I was going to be sending out a programming schedule. I mean, it's getting here. It's getting here. And we know that it's not what everyone wished for. And we're here for you through this time. And we're ever grateful that we can be here through this time as well. Beautiful weather today. Get out there if you can. Man, it's beautiful there right now. I tell you what, here in just a minute, I'm going to move camera 2 up to the window, and I tell you what, we'll see if our production staff could maybe get camera 2 up and going here as soon as I get it up to the window. And maybe, just maybe, we can take a look at out this window here. So let me put this in the window. And now, if we may, production staff, I'm going to put in the request for camera 2. If you can go ahead and, when you receive that, if you can go ahead and accept that, we can take a look outside. A lot of moss. There's a look outside. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day outside. Wow, what a beautiful day. That's me holding the camera up there. A little bit breezy, but again, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Okay, I'm going to put the request in to go back to camera 1. And while we're at it, if we are not currently on the studio microphone, if we can be placed on the studio microphone as well, I'm gonna check that. We are not. I'm gonna go ahead and put that request in as well. It looks like, again, production staff is great. They always are very, very nice people to work with. And man, I don't know where we'd be without them. So a big, big round of applause, a virtual round of applause for our production staff. I mean, where would we be without them? All right, we're going to take one final commercial break. We'll be back. I can't believe it. This is the first time in, gosh, over a week that I've had a full wrap-up. We're going to be back in just a minute to wrap things up and get you prepared and send you into the weekend. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to be right back. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
We treat every in Washington since 1959. This is a non-future ad, and the information is not intended to be legal advice. You should contact an attorney and speak with them over the safety.
I disagree with communications, Michael. I know many of you are flustered physically watch your grandsons. Yes, nephews, cousins, parents, play ball with veterans. Or please contact us by telephone. We are also open to donations as well, and that is how we have our liberty to continue streaming this rough time with the donations. Nebraska Legion Baseball Network. Care of Michael Clark. 243 Thank you for watching. God bless you. And we welcome you back here. Ball Talk with Big Mike. We're ready to wrap things up here on, geez, it's already June 10th. Who would have dreamed? I mean, I guess we should be grateful here in the state of Nebraska that the COVID pandemic has calmed down enough that we're allowed. I mean, look at how many cases are spiking. Let's take a look here. I just want to make a point here. Wow. Okay, let's take a look here. I just want to see here, COVID-19, if there's anything on here. Well, I can't find it, but there were 20 states with increased COVID-19 cases. Nebraska is not one of them. Aren't we blessed? Aren't we blessed? I just want to make a point. we're blessed. We're blessed to be able to be able to have baseball happening this summer, have softball happening this summer. We're even in the process we're in phase 2 reopening. I mean, I got to go to church May 10th for my baccalaureate mass. I mean, I haven't gone back since then, and who knows? Maybe I will one day. I don't know. I really don't know. This will be definitely one of the most interesting years of my lifetime. I don't think any year is going to be able to top top this year. I know for a fact I'm not gonna. Who would have dreamed that the only vacation I'd be taking in 2020 was on January 2nd? I went to Kansas City for 2 nights. Who would have dreamed that would be my only vacation in 2020? Who would have dreamed? I know I wouldn't have. Would you have? Anyway, I guess that's our show for today. I would like to thank Joe Klein for stopping in and giving us some time to interview. I would like to thank our production staff for working so great through our technical difficulties and that we will be able to be on the air this afternoon. Go check out our website. We have a couple new releases. rebrand.ly/ENLBN-Wahoo. Click on ENLBN News. We have a couple new releases as far as what's going on next week. And so, likewise. Thank you, the viewers, for joining us here. This has been a fun time, and I hope that we have so many more endeavors this summer. And from all of us here at the Eastern Nebraska Legion Baseball Network to you, wishing you a good day, a good end of the work week, a great weekend. We'll see you all back here on Monday at noon. Until we meet again, this is